Okay, I believe I have all my bells and whistles on and popping. Let's get over to the main screen and let's see if we can get the live room. I'm still fighting the net. Yes, y'all. I just did that live. Still fighting the net. All right, let's get myself muted and see if we can ensure that we are actually live inside of the group, that there is no echo. And it does appear that we are live. So I should be able to get us started right here directly and on time. What's going on, good people? Brandmaster Martina, Britt, Yelverton here, and thank you to each and every one of you who are chiming in and catching us here live on today. Today is Teach You Tuesday, and today we are discussing and continuing the discussion of the brand build inside of Canva for the brand new struggling speaker and the person who doesn't even believe that they are a speaker. However, we're making them aware that they actually are a speaker because at some point they do have to speak about their brand. And with regard to that, there are things that they need to have in place prior to. So one thing I'm learning along this journey, if you guys have no earthly idea, there's a lot of thinking that goes into the process of building your own brand, building your own personal brand, lifestyle brand, business brand, building your own business as a whole. There's a lot of thinking that happens prior to that people just are not aware of. And one of the things that I endeavor to do is to make sure that that part, that process, that beginning set of instructions is not a struggle for you. My goal is to make this entire brand journey simplistic for you. And if you've never heard me do my introduction, my name is Brandmaster Martina Britt Yelverton. I'm your cash flow queen and founder of the Brand You Agency under the division of Family First Design or Family First Designs. A division of Family First Designs is a Brand You Agency. We're still working on how to make that flow a little bit better so that you guys can quickly ascertain what it is that I do. What my daily goal is to brand you, educate you, and to help you get your assets in order so that you can go from new starter struggling to gaining impact and influence, and so that you can attract people to you that need your value, your vision, and your voice. My agency meets you at the intersect of your idea, its identity, the brand, the system, the strategy, the services, all of that, right? We want to make sure that we meet you there because a lot of that is not thought of. So you get out here and you're in these streets and you're willy-nilly, as they say, pulling things out of a hat like you are a magician just to make, things happen inside of your brand or your business. And you don't realize there's a lot of thinking and a methodology, a framework, a blueprint that should have gone in place when you first got started to make the journey more simplistic. And that is where the 5 stages to learn, lead, and level up comes into play. Right. My goal is to help you along this journey to get your assets in order and take you through a simplistic process where you actually become aware of your own value, your vision, and your voice, that you also make others aware of your value, your vision, and your voice, right? And then you take them through the process, you lead them through the journey of that value. So hold one hot sec. I'm having a cough come up. And of course, we also have to let the little doggies out because they decided right now, move, move, Baku. They decided right now is the time, smack in the middle of this live, that they want to go running out into the hallway. So thank you for that small commercial break. My Mellow and my Baku, my Mbaku decided they want to go running out of the room right now as soon as I get started. So we want to take you through the process along this journey where you lead people from your awareness and their awareness of what your value, your vision, and your voice is into, the process of them hearing your value, knowing your vision, and then you leading them along the path with your voice, right? To eventually ascend into a next level. I like to say it'd be nice if it were an automation level, right? An automation level, proper use of AI, leveraging AI and things like that, okay? And so today specifically, we're going to continue the conversation. What conversation is that, you may ask? Well, we're going to continue the conversation surrounding speaking, surrounding what that looks like. And let me verify one more time before I get too far into this that I can be heard. Let's see if I can get into that room and verify that I'm live. And ensure that I can be heard. Because I hate to get through all of this training and realize that I can't be. So I'm just double checking here on my phone. Give me just a moment. I don't know why my phone's giving me such a hard time. So we're going to have an echo here for a moment so we can move this along. And I'm just going to unmute this along. Okay. And I'm just, okay, good deal. So we can be heard. Everything's, moving and shaking. So along this journey that we're moving forward with regards to the speaker who doesn't realize they're a speaker, or the individual who doesn't want to be titled speaker, however, they do have to speak about their business, what I am endeavoring to do is to help them understand there are some things that they need to have in place. Event planners, people who may be looking to bring you in to speak, we want you to stop sending them a 5-page resume. I'm struggling today, but we're going to keep it going. We don't want you to continue to send them a 5-page resume. They don't have time to read it. They don't have the time because they are usually working behind the curve to get positioned for their event, right? They want to ask you for your speaker info. And when they do ask you for your speaker information, they want to utilize or receive from you a one sheet to quickly ascertain whether or not you're the individual, right? That speaker one sheet needs to have some priority information on it, right? It needs to have about 3 to 5 things that they can look at quickly, easily, and move on, right? Not that they're trying to circumvent the process of bringing in someone who's qualified. We want to make it so that it's easy for them, it's simple for them to make a yes decision about you. So we want to make sure that, number one, it has a high quality headshot, a stage shot or a headshot. We want to make sure that your bio is bulleted, it's quick, it's short, it's punchy. It says exactly who it is that you help so that they can determine whether or not you're the speaker for this specific event, right? You want to have simple 3 clear speaking topics or bullet points on that which the audience will learn from you. What are you an expert at? What are those 3 pivotal points of value that you offer, right? And they want to be able to also see your contact information, your website, and all of that. And we want to make sure that it's clean, that it is concise, that it is simple, and that they can quickly get in contact with you and receive a response. Let's not forget the need to quickly receive a response. We want to make sure that when they reach out to you, they can quickly receive a response. I'm going to say that about 50 gazillion times to make sure that you guys get it. It doesn't make sense for you to send them this amazing information for them to go to your website, for them to take the time to reach out to you, and then there's no response. So please keep in mind, yes, you can go through the arduous process of creating all of this, and then you turn around and have them contact you, and there is not a quick, easy response from you. You just shot yourself in the foot. You just wasted a bunch of time, okay? So now that I've said all of this, you may be still thinking, that's great that you said all that, but what exactly is a speaker one sheet? Well, it's your resume, it's your brochure, it's your business card, but it's all on one page. It's professional and it's easy to find, okay? So what I'm going to do is, let's see if I can get a different page to come up here on the right, see if my different things are going to cooperate with me on today. And let's see if I can go and grab some information that we're going to utilize today. I'll see if I can get mine to come up quickly. So I'm going to select my speaker one sheet really quickly here, and I'm going to put in some quick dummy information just to see if the system's going to cooperate with me. And I'm going to type Martina test just for the purpose of getting this. And I'm going to type, let's see, let's use brand master plus test. at familyfirstdesigns.com. We're going to check that I consent to receive information, and then we're going to say, please send me your brand new speaker one sheet. So the reason that we want to make sure that we grab their first name, because we want to know who's reaching out with us, and their email, because we want to be able to send them an immediate response, right? That's all you need to ask of the EP coming to quickly get your one sheet. So notice how quickly it was available to me to go to type in onesheet.martinabrityelverton.com so that I can quickly get what I need to get, okay, over to them. So if I'm standing there speaking to someone and they're like, hey, do you have a speaker one sheet? I literally can pull up my phone, type in onesheet.martinabrityelverton.com, and then I can say your name is, type their name in, your email address real quick, type their email address in, and then boom, click this button. And what's going to immediately happen when I do this is now my system is going to shoot them what it is that it needs to shoot them. And I don't know what I did wrong, that my one sheet myself here live for you is not working, which we're going to troubleshoot it because, again, I am teaching you the process. So let's see here. I don't have an extra space here. Brand master plus test, family first designs. That's spelled right. Martina test. Yes, yes, yes. And we're not sure what it's doing it. So let's go query. Look, inquiry mind wants to know. So we're going to go and see if we can pull up the back end here and see if we can get into my account and let me troubleshoot. Now, I know this isn't a part of the training, but I want to have it in here because this sheet has not had issues before. So let's see what's going on with that. And let's go over into the account. Let's go into the sites. All right, and let's go specifically to our form builder here. And let's type in speaker and see what's going on here. So this is our speaker one sheet request. Let's see if we can troubleshoot what's going on with my speaker sheet, because that was kind of weird. So there we go, there we go, there we go. Let me click my button here and let's see what the settings are for that. Please send me. All right, let's check my settings over here. All right, it should have redirected as soon as I clicked to go here. For some reason, we may need to check that to see what's going on with that. But let's see if the submission that I just submitted even went through at all. So for some reason, it didn't process. Let's back up. Let's go in here to edit. Please send me your, I should have shot a copy out over here. Advanced. My system is showing out because that's quite weird. So I'm going to close that for the moment and I'm going to populate where it should have landed us in here. It should immediately have sent us over here to my one sheet inquiry funnel, which was the next step, where now they can see more information about me if they want to go through the process of booking me further here. So I'm going to troubleshoot that further because, as I said, we're looking here in the backstage and everything's on and popping. It should have redirected here. It did not. And I need to figure out why. Let me turn on my sticky contacts while I'm in here because that should have been on. But that's interesting. So I'm going to save that for the moment and we'll troubleshoot that. The bottom line is once that populates, it's going to bring them here to get more information about me. And we're going to go through this landing page that we've set up on a subsequent day. But just to let you know, having ownership of your name and being able to quickly respond on the spot to drop into the EP or the interested individual's lap, a way to get your information needs to happen in automation automatically, right? Not only that, we have it available to go into, and I'll just probably go pull this one up so you guys can see quickly what that speaker sheet that I have set up for today's training would look like once it lands in their email. Go into my account. And again, I have several gazillion and a half things open, and nothing wants to be where it should be because we're live, we're training live. Nothing wants to be where it should be. And so we're having a little bit of issue getting to all the bells and whistles, but that's not difficult. I'm just going to view a large icon so I can get to my own speaker one sheet quickly for you guys to see. And you guys know from several trainings over time that we have switched from our previous platform, StreamYard, into Riverside just to see how we like the way this system works. We've also switched from, going to populate that open in just a moment. There we go. We've also switched from, can you guys see that now? We've also switched from utilizing our Photoshop into utilizing Canva more realistically for you guys who need to know the simplicity of using it. And so that has us looking a little crazy, but hey, you get to see the real deal. We are no gatekeeping, we are transparent. So here is, like I said, when we were going through the different things that you need to make sure that you have available for the EP, you want to make sure that you have things like a high quality headshot. So for the example of what you're looking at today, I have 2 images of myself on here. You want to make sure that they can see who it is that we'll be presenting. You also want to make sure that you have a short, punchy bio that says exactly who you serve. So I'm telling you in multiple different areas that I am a brand master. I'm an educertive speaking, meaning I am an education assertive-based speaker, that I'm a passionate about what it is that I do, that I'm not typical, that I'm unique in my delivery, that I'm going to give you no gatekeeping, transparent, views in what it is that we do. But it says that I am, founder of a brand new agency for new or emerging Gen X speaker entrepreneurs, right? Letting you know that, again, it says what it is that I talk about, who it is that I serve. So the 3 things that I need for you to understand about what an individual encountering my brand will learn is that I brand you, educate you, and that I help you. So they're going to learn about branding. They're going to learn about brand education, and they are going to get help. It gives you some of the background information in a quick 1 sentence that I am a 10-time published author, a brand U strategist, a Presidential Lifetime Award recipient, a systems development specialist, and an always be marketing you visionary. Okay. So it gives you some of my deets. The Global Speakers University brand strategist, that I've been featured in some publications, that I've spoken at SpeakerCon, You Are Enough, Women Who Prosper, and these various conferences, and that I am the agency that launches personal brands that reflect who you are, what you stand for, and attracts who your purpose to serve. So all of this information is available quickly on the 1 sheet that you get once you receive the email. And as I showed before, for some reason that form is not populating, which has me a little bit concerned because people could be interested in that information, but for some reason that button is not triggering, which is weird because if you've seen previous trainings, the button worked fine. For some reason, it's not working on today. We're not going to let that trip us out. On the flip side of that, when they click that button, it brings them here to see again, next step. It gives them an immediate look into who I am. And again, we'll cover the depth information on this speaker landing page in a subsequent video. But today, let's talk about one of the clients that we're utilizing to build out their first speaker 1 sheet. And we're going to utilize an option, Canva AI, so you can see some of the things that Canva AI is saying. But also I'm going to share and show you how you can actually find templates and build those out based on what your own preference is, in case you are a person with a little bit of graphic prowess and you want to delve a little bit further. You don't have to use AI. You can actually build upon a template that is available to you. So today we're going to focus again on Tawana Lynette, and the brand build that we are developing for her. Because again, you saw us go through the real client brand kit building for Tawana Lynette, how we applied her brand colors, how we are going to be able to set up something that we can export via a PDF rather quickly, right? So that you can avoid some of the biggest mistakes that other speakers are making because they don't have their email address on their information. They don't have any topics letting the EP know what they're going to speak about. That EP is just going to move on to the next person or the next resume or the next speaker one sheet that they have because you made it too difficult. So we want to make sure that we're simplifying the process for them. Again, we're going to make sure that they see this one sheet, not a 5-page resume, not a whole entire brochure, not an in-depth process. They're going to see very quickly a great photo, a short bio, and clear speaking points, as well as your contact information, and they're going to get a quick response, okay? And we're going to utilize Canva to do that, so I can show you how we're going to build out, number one, the brand kit with photos, because we didn't have those in there the other day, and how we're going to now create the speaker one sheet. I hope that makes sense to you guys. So Tawana Lynette, right now, we're just utilizing a script font for her logo as we build this out. Now, we already have the information to build this out further, but we're going to utilize AI so that you can see what the process looked like as we started. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back up here to the top of the conversation, and actually, I just went inside of this client's account. So what do I mean by this client's account? If you do not have a Canva account, you can grab one at canva.martinabrityelverton.com. You can grab it quickly, you can grab it easily. And what this will allow you to do is you are available to come in here and you're available to create your brand kit, okay? On the left-hand panel, you'll see brand over here. This is where your brand kit is located. These are the 4 colors, mainly the 3 and an accent color that we pulled from her information. Where did we pull that from? We asked her to create a Google Doc and begin to brain dump. Once she finished brain dumping on 15 prior pages, okay, I call that one the ADHD version, we actually trimmed the fat out of that, and she was then able to do her brand build assets inside of one document, give me her 4 color palettes, and we were able to show on a previous video how we got her hex codes from that, okay? We took that, we placed that here inside of her brand kit, the green, the brown, the gold, and the accent black. We went and we uploaded her script font to Tawana Lynette. We also went in and we added that script font here, and then subsequently we decided that we want to utilize for hers the Montserrat. Okay, and we're going to make that one Montserrat as our header as well. And then as our sub header, we're just going to utilize an enter font. And her section header, maybe Montserrat, and maybe we would make that one bold. Her body is going to be enter, and these are the way that when we're creating templates, when we're creating presentations, when we're creating any of the designs that we create in Canva, we are available to use these subtitles, headings, subheadings, section headers, all this information with the click of a button, and the font is already decided. Its size can be decided, whether it's bold or not. Its heading can be decided. The size, again, whether it's italicized, all that can be predetermined so that when you plug it into your project, all of your text is already fixed, okay? Here we're actually going to upload her brand strategy guide, and this was developed from actually her series of questions. So we took her trimmed brand assets document and we plugged it into our vision assistant, and our vision assistant was then able to deliver a polished brand guide that covered these topics: her customer avatar, that customer's pain point and their positioning, then what the Tawana Lynette coaching method delivers as far as value is concerned. Some of her tagline that she used. Then we set up her brand identity, created more details about her brand voice, set her color palette typography, and then gave her some quick reference, some bullet points for things that she needs to do. So as to give you an example, her customer avatar is a 37-year-old woman named Camille. She's an HR manager at a growing tech startup, often juggling team dynamics and personal life stresses. We're going to talk about what Camille's primary goal is, her secondary goals, right? And what she craves. Then we're going to talk about her struggles, her pain points, and the different things that she faces based on what she's been through before. And now, after working with Tawana Lynette's coaching system, what her life would be like. This is a brand strategy point that everyone needs to have to know what it is that they're doing. From this brand strategy guide, we plug that information into the brand voice. Now, we could actually add the document itself, or we could add each of the different elements here, pulling from that brand guide, because we want everything that Canva does for us to be pre-planned so that we aren't wasting time, okay? In addition to that, those photos that we did not have available in here earlier, we now have those available in here now. So these are the likeness photos for Tawana Lynette based on her submission of candid selfie shots given to me, and then we utilized our AI twin assistant to create more professional and casual full body, close up, and working shots of Tawana Lynette so that these can be utilized in her branding, in her brand build, in her social media post as we move forward, but here today utilizing them on her speaker one sheet. I hope that makes sense to you guys, how we were able to walk through the process of getting some of those things now put into her brand kit, right? So from that, we said, hey, let's go and check out AI, and let's ask AI to build a speaker media kit. When you open your Canva account, there's this little button here on the left that says Canva AI, and it will open up a conversation. Speaker Media Kit is what I plugged in. It said, hey, I'm the Canva assistant to generate the right one. What is the kit for? And then it'll give you options. I said it's a general speaking profile. Got it. It answered me and it said, but before I create it, what is the name? Tawana Lynette is the name. Perfect. I'll use Tawana Lynette. What is your primary speaking topic, right? And then I just plugged in the brand guide, right? Along with a quick logo so it could see what her font looked like. On top of that, it's also pulling from its memory, the brand kit that we've already uploaded. So then it gave me a couple of examples here. I opened those up a little bit bigger for you to see. It gave me a couple. Do we want it in this format with our Montserrat text up here? Do we want it with icons, caricatures, things like that in illustrative format? Do we want it to have more of an office setting, a quaint coaching setting? Do we want the speaker kit to be more bulleted with limited pictures, illustrative pictures, not real people? Do we want it to follow a journey path? Do we want it to have, this look? So, and then it said this information. Hey, I used your Coach Ty brand kit. Now, I didn't have the images in there yet, but it went and did what it wanted to do and tried it out. And then it says each option is a multi-page media kit with layout sections. And then it covers the things that we need to have: some about positioning information, some signature topics, what the audience outcome will be. Again, the EP is looking to find out what it is their audience is going to gain from you being the speaker or for you being the coach brought in. And as always, how to get booked or how to move next. Okay. And then it asked me which one. I said, well, let's go with this one here. And then I said, but also pull in more of the other colors. In my opinion, it did not listen too well. Okay. But here are some of the outcomes that it said. It said, I'm going to start from version 4 and refresh it with Tawana's updated photos. Now, it claimed it went and got the photos. These are not the photos that are in there. Okay. But just to give you a general idea, it continued to use her font as the head and the subheader. which is what we wanted it to do. All right. Then it gave me another idea here. Again, none of these images are the images, but to me, this is too sporadic. The font would be too small, even if I were to blow this up. This one is not in the correct color palette. However, I do like the positioning of the photo at the bottom. So this could be one that I would potentially consider using, but it would take a lot of edits. And then finally, it gave me this version. Now, this is just research. So, when we talk about this path here, one of the things that I try to help you guys understand is the research and development along this path, the awareness, looking to see what the internet is asking for before you make a determination. That's all we're doing. We're playing around with AI to get some general ideas, some research and development based on what AI is saying. These are some formats that could potentially hit on some targets that you're interested in. Okay. And again, it said, I'm going to start from version 4, refresh it with the images, which it did not. Done. I generated an updated version for different directions, uploaded photo styling, brand fonts were applied. If you want to fine tune one of these, I actually could say, hey, this is the one I want to fine tune, and I could use the Canva editor. Or this one is the one I want to fine tune and use the editor. Just for the purpose of today, let's just go ahead and click this one, and I'm going to say use Canva editor. So now it's going to take that particular one and it's going to open it up in an option where I can edit it. I could pull this up larger here on the screen and you could see it has fixed here largely across the bottom. It has her social media handle and her web information here. This, of course, is pulled from that brand guide. It has some information on here, how to book her. Maybe you could write a line and make some adjustments to this so that it actually can be seen. We could pull that out so that now it's away from the image. For me, I'd want to move this up maybe into the body of the text here so that it falls against the background. Maybe right click and drop that over to the right, maybe spread it out so that it's one line and bring that down here. Again, Canva, you are available to do some pretty awesome things pretty quickly inside of the platform, right? So you would be able to go in and click and make this a one-page option depending on how you choose to use it. Just click, move, make things, look more professional, spread them out the way you want to spread them out. This is a speaker kit. If we're choosing to go with this one, obviously update the dates and things like that to make it more relevant. I would not suggest you necessarily date your speaker one kit, but hey, you love it, I like it, right? And again, we would want to make sure that we're using the accurate font. So because her logo is not positioned anywhere on here, I would want to go in and I would want to update and use her actual logo versus this font, because this font, Playfair Display, is nowhere in her branding, okay? So here's one of the ways that we could utilize implementing her brand kit. So here is where I've clicked on the background and you see up top here, it has actually turned to a blue hue. Because it's turned to a blue hue, now this bar up here is activated, and say I chose to click on that, it is going to bring up the brand kits, the colors over here on the left. I obviously want to go and I want to pull up the one specifically for Tawana Lynette, select that brand kit. Now that I have that one here at the top, all of the variations of all of the colors that are used throughout this entire example are available over here. And I can pick and choose the way that I want the background to look properly going forward. And here's the beautiful thing. If a color's used once you change it over here on the left, say we chose to make this, all black. Once you change that, usually there's a pop-up. If that color is used multiple times, you can change them all. Let's see if I can use the white as an example. So because I've used the white and I am selecting the color here, say I change that white to a gold. Now everything that's white on this page, I'll say, yes, I want to change all to gold. See how every place white was used in that hue? This may be off by a hair. And so say I want to change that one. Now you still see there's a white used here. So sometimes you have to go in and edit other things because as you see, We said white, but this is actually light orange. As you see right there below, E3EODB is the hex code. It's not a full solid white, which would be the FFFFFF, which is actually white. So that's the reason these did not change, because these actually are not white. They are a hue of white. And in this case, it was titled light orange. So that's why those didn't change, okay? So let's undo that just so we can take it back to something workable so that you guys can see the options. So again, now that we've changed the background to black, let's drop some of these to her actual brand colors. And let's drop this one maybe to a brown, this one maybe to her gold, and we'll leave that one white. So now we actually have something that looks more aligned with her color palette over here. And again, this is not necessarily one that we're going to use. We do want to have, again, we can change that one yellow. It's indicating that that yellow is used throughout. We want to change them all to the gold, which changed that for us, okay? She may not like the title professional speaker. So we can say relationship coach instead of professional speaker, right? She made me more comfortable to that, then made me more comfortable with that. So again, this is fully editable where you are available to make all the shifts and pivots that you want to make. We don't need this to loudly say speaker media kit across the top. We may want it just to say her logo. So for the purposes of this, what I'm going to do is just drop that completely out. I'm going to go over to where her brand kit is located, and I'm going to pull in her actual logo here into the document. And I'm going to say here boldly across the top, Tawana Lynette, centered in the middle by my guide. As soon as my guide shows up, right? Just like that. Now for me, maybe see if I can make this, and this is just me and my spacing. I like for that spacing to be a little bit more centered. That looks a little bit cleaner to me. Again, you can play around with this based on your comfort level. But again, we're inside Canva. We're doing this quick, fast, on the fly, and we're able to make these adjustments, okay? Again, let's just pull this up here. That's a cute little TL. Kind of like it, kind of don't. We'll see. But I want to bring in a couple of other items here. Like, I like the fact that this has no background. So let's say we want to flip this image so that she's facing in. And again, she's hovered over that. As I said before, we can make all kinds of different updates, moves, changes, things like that based on what Canva has provided us as a template. Again, this is coming together rather quickly. And do you see how we're available to move things around rather quickly here, directly here inside of the template? Now, right here, if I wanted to move her out here so that the image curved on the edge, one of the things that I could do, click this image, go up here, see that it's a 22, click her image, go up here, and make that round at a 22. Now, when I pull this over, it fits nice and snug right there against that curve. See how it curved the image? Now, you may not like it on this side, but I like the fact that it's curved on that side. That may matter to you. That may not matter to you. This may be an issue. This may not be an issue, but you have the option to play around with different things that could potentially, hide that curve, like putting an image right there, something like that, that kind of takes away from the thought. Again, you can play around with all of these options based on what you find is your preference. You see how I'm just grabbing different things and moving them to areas that speak more to me? So we're going to keep, just for the purpose of what we're doing, some of these elements. Even though this is not Tawana, we're keeping some of these elements so that we can then implement her images. So let's say we like that one. I think we'll just leave the other ones. You guys understand for the example what I'm using. So what I want to do temporarily is I want to go over and I'm just going to copy and I'm going to duplicate this image just to have it off screen in case there's something that I want to do a little differently with it. And what I'm going to do is go over to where her photos are located and say I'm going to replace this image here. Because this image is one that I use when I pull and drag it directly in. Do you see how it came in? And it did not, most times when you pull an image in and you can drop it in, for some reason, it's not allowing me to drop it right in on that image. I can still pull it in. I can still remove the background. It'll do it for me. I can still flip it. And then I can still resize it. And now I can remove that image and I can pop. I'm going to get right here so I can then, Canva wants to play with my life right now, make things difficult. I can still pull Tawana in. I can still align her right here flush. I can go in and I can make this. We said that was 22. I curved her image. Bring her down just a hair. Pull this up if I were interested in covering up that left panel and the emphasis there. Or I could bring in a different use of this. Maybe bring this down here. I could use, if I didn't want to use that one, I could pull this one up here. Do you see how I'm just going through and grabbing different elements that it gave me to work with and placing those in different areas? Again, you have all of these images as examples for you to say, hey, I need to go and get maybe an image that has me seated, and I believe we have one that we may be able to use, but you may be able to pick and choose your own images because you don't have the backgrounds available automatically and plug those in. But again, here is how you can develop and build out your speaker kit. Again, if you're paying attention to all of the options that I gave you, you want to make sure that you take the opportunity to plug into your kit all of the various things that we discussed. And what were those things that we discussed? Again, you want to make sure, saying it again and louder for the people in the back, you have a high quality stage shot or headshot. You have a short, punchy bio, which are the things that we would plug in here. Here is where you could plug in your quick bio, how you reference yourself, pulling from your brand guide. You want to make sure that you say exactly who it is you help, what those speaking topics are. Speaking topics, plug those in here. Where your experience come from, give a little bit of where your experience comes from, your history. Give a little bit of bullets for that here. How to get in contact with you. You want to make sure that you make all of that simple. Your web information is located on here, your social media aspects, anything like that. You want to make sure that you plug that information in. So say this is finally finalized and this particular size that we have, let's check and see what size it chose for this. We'll click on file and it lets us know this is an 800 by 2000 pixel design. This would be great for something that you could use on a pop-up like we showed here. When the page pops up or when the information pops up. See if I can get back over. When it pops open like this, that particular size may not matter. However, when it's time for that EP maybe to download this black background would be heavily rich for them to print. So you would want to take the opportunity, once you finalize this design, then I would suggest you go in and you invert the entire design and then change it to an 8.5 by 11 printable so that now everything that's black is white and everything that's white is black. So you can make this easy for them if they chose to print it out and easy for yourself if you chose to print it out. It could be the exact same format, the exact same look, but invert the colors and make it print ready. So say this was finalized. I would duplicate the page. I would then come in and I would say resize the page and I would choose for a print size. And the print size I would choose would be a simple 8.5 by 11. Select that one and I would say copy and resize. So now it's going to take all the elements on that page, right? And it's going to resize it, right? That's one way. It can open it up into an entirely separate file. That can get, a little cumbersome. I like to say when I'm doing this, I like to go down here, pull it up so that I can see the grid view. While I'm looking at the grid view, I'd like to say resize this page to, like we just said, an 8.5 by 11. And it will do it right here in the same file that you're working in. So now when you go open it up and reduce it, this is an 8.5 by 11. Now that we have it as an 8.5 by 11, let's duplicate it and let's go and invert now. So we'd want to take this background here and we want to make it white. See white, hashtag FFF, FF, FFFFFF, so that it turns black, right? And it would say change all the black to white. We would say yes, however, I think that's going to cause a little bit of a hiccup later, but let's go ahead and change all the black to white. But notice it changed it throughout the entire document, and that's not what we wanted. So that's the hiccup I was referring to. So let's undo that method, and let's go back to our one document here. And now what we want to do is to help you find, you can select all, and now you can see, hey, I have some white text down here that needs to go black. And I have an icon here that needs to change. You would just flip everything to where it now makes sense. Grab the logo. You'd want to grab the other one, the one that's black. This font here, we'd want to take that to a black font there. And the only reason, let's see if this does it just for that. Did it do it all? Yes, just for that. All right. Make it big so you can actually see what it is that we're doing because you're watching it on there. I'm just going to grab that and pull it out to where I can see it. Grab that and pull it out to where I can see it. Pay attention to your guides to help you do this more quickly. All right. And now you have one that when they print it, it's not going to be as bad as it once was as far as the printer is concerned. You're going to go and find your other elements. We knew we had an element up there. Let's change that one to black. And we knew we had a text in there. Let's change that one to black. Okay. And you'll go through the document and find the various areas where you knew you had additional text. Like I said, I'm just showing you on the fly how you can now reorganize this exact same design, and now it's print ready for a full page. Again, you have the ability to make all the changes you choose to make within this document. As long as you understand that it does take some editing, but you started from nothing in your mind. You started from no ideas. Canva gave you an idea. Where'd it go? Canva gave you an idea on how it could assist you inside of the AI. And I don't know where that screen went, y'all. It just disappeared. When we opened it, it disappeared. Not a problem. But now you're available to take this particular design and say, this is the page that is finalized, print ready. And you guys know when I actually upload this finally, I will show you what her finalized real, okay, headshot looks like. But you maybe want to now take this and you want to make this a print ready document so you can utilize it. You're going to go up here to the file. Well, let me do this before you do that. So I'll say draft, because we know this isn't the final. Draft 8.5 by 11. Joanna Lynette, one sheet. Okay. So now when I go to share and download this particular page, I only want to do current page number 4. Was that current page number? Yes, page number 4. That is titled Draft 8.5 by 11 to Joanna Lynette, one sheet, right? I want to only get that one. I want to download that one. And so it's going to now take that and make it a PDF document. You can do the same thing as a JPEG, a PNG, whatever you're wanting to do. And we're going to go here into her new folder, and we're going to say one sheet. And I like to keep things named. Joanna Lynette, one sheet. And we're going to go into that one and we're going to drop it there. So we save that as a PNG. So if I wanted to open that up in its own file now and see specifically what that looked like as an image, I would go to that one sheet folder and I would open it up. And now as an image, it's going to populate for me. If it chooses to act right on my end, there we go. It's going to populate for me as a one sheet. I would go in and make obviously all the other additional adjustments, but now you have that one sheet. You have it so that if you choose to now make it a URL so that you could have the same, we will move further into how we now make that in our system. But just to give you a little bit of preliminary information on what that looks like, I'm going to go into my marketing tab and I'm going to go into my snippets and just give you a quick demo of what that looks like once your system actually, I don't know what's going on with my system right now today, but I'm going to type in speaker. And now you're going to see the way that I have my automation set up is I have an email one to speaker inquiry. This is where they reached out and my system automatically responded to them. It said, hey, contact name, thank you for your interest in having me speak at blah, 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 right? This triggers automatically. Email one happens, then email 2A, right? This is the system that goes either 1 day, 2 days, or 3 days later, and it's giving them information automated because it's going to automatically send them the one sheet. It's going to automatically send them, a snippet of me speaking. Is going to automatically follow up with them based on whatever they were asking about. If they asked about, a specific speaking topic, then it's going to give them that speaking topic and what my fee would be to speak on that speaking topic because I already have a preset proposal or contract or agreement, whatever your terminology is, set up inside of this system. So here inside of the speaker one sheet folder, this is the information that will populate. Just give you a quick inside look on that. Here is what it would say. Here is where the speaker one sheet is automatically added. And it says, hey, thank you for your interest in my speaker one sheet. I'm excited to be informed of your interest in my speaking platform, right? And again, here is the information that I share with them. Hey, I've attached the speaker one sheet. Please let me know. Please know that I'd love to know more about your event. So I'm directing them to say, hey, I'm glad you're interested in getting my one sheet. What event could you be interested in? Right. And all of that information is attached. This happens on automation based on the very first trigger that they had, which was they wanted to know more about me and they needed to get a quick snippet bit of information. And we're going to do the same for Tawana's platform, even though she says she's not a speaker. However, at some point she will go live, she will coach, she will teach, she will train, she will put content out there. And that is a speaker. Okay. So I hope this makes sense for you guys to understand this can be done in Canva. It can be done in Canva for free. If you choose to update for new bells and whistles inside of the Pro plan, Canva ranges anywhere from $10 to $13 to $15 per month, and then you get a discount when you purchase it for the year, right? Once again, I hope you understand these are the elements that are needed. Please, please, please stop taking the unknown opportunity to dissuade the EPs that are looking for you. They're looking for you for a reason. And the biggest mistake that you could be making is you're making it difficult for them to find you. I hope this information that I've shared with you has been of value to you. And again, that you will find more value inside of our next topic. So again, we went over the speaker one sheet, setting that up as our first media kit, some terminologies that are used. I showed you how to create this kit inside of Canva and how to publish it so that you can utilize it going forward. When we move into our next area, we're going to talk about what they're looking for and how you would automate this process, where you would use the domain and the subdomain to actually make this part of an automation step, meaning when they ask for the one sheet, They get the one sheet and they get an email from you that says, thank you for your interest. What's next? We're going to talk about that on our next training. I hope again that this has been of value to you, and I'll catch you on the very, very next one. Thank you again for your time on today. Brand Master Martina Britt Yelverton, and that's truly all I have for you on today. Hey, Brandmaster Martina Britt Yelverton here, and I'm speaking directly to my brand new Gen X speaker entrepreneurs. You know you have a powerful message to share, and now you're ready to step onto that stage, but you're stuck. You don't know where to start, how to get booked, or how to turn your speaking into actual income. Well, guess what? You're in the right place. As a Gen X myself, focusing my 2 decades of branding expertise exclusively on helping brand new speakers like you go from stuck and struggling to booked all the way to the bank. As the lead developer for the SpeakerCon 2025 virtual experience, brand strategist for Global Speakers University, and visionary of the Brand U Agency, I know exactly what personal brand and business systems you need to launch your speaking career. Here's the different approach in this AI intensive market. I don't overcomplicate it. We're going to get your assets in order and build you a speaker brand from the ground up, one that is uniquely you, leverages AI, simplifies automations, positions you as the expert, and attracts the right opportunities to your value, your vision, and your voice. You're not alone, nor watching from the sidelines. You're actually building right alongside other brand new speakers who are also done being stuck. Every week I provide content so you can stop overthinking and start speaking. You'll get behind the scenes access to my methodology, real client case studies, and step-by-step strategies you can implement to launch your speaker brand. Each week we're live for Watch Me Work Wednesdays and set up Sundays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bring your questions because it's real, it's raw, and it's about helping you get started while navigating life. This truly is a no gatekeeping community and a judgment-free zone. You don't need decades of experience to deserve premium positioning. You just need the right foundation so that your wisdom and your value can stand. Hey, Brandmaster Martina Britt Yelverton.